So I thought we could talk about rat fancy. No, I thought.
Yeah, sweet. I know all about that.
No, so I thought one of the things we won't talk for too long. We've waffled on for quite a while now, haven't we? So we'll talk.
I'm a busy man, you know.
Yeah, we'll finish off now.
You want to do a short?
Just a bit of an overview. Well, it won't be overly short, but it'll be short enough. So, what is to talk about? We said it. We stopped something the other day. We talked about, not the other day, but a while back, when we were talking about detoxing, and then I said stop there because we won't talk about recovery houses. We'll do that now. So, what I want to talk about, not specifically anyone, but the concept of the recovery itself. So we talked about detox and how it can, but then you go into, not necessarily, but then people have the option to go into a recovery house or a
residential rehab.
Residential rehab. So a lot of people won't know what that is, and also, again, a lot of people, I've said this before, a lot of people might do a detox and think, I don't need that house. Not that they've ever been to one or a residential, they might just not go. So let's talk about.
There's a few different types of rehabs you can do. Right. So I think there's only sort of two. Residential one, which is where you sort of go and stay there, or you can do like a daytime rehab.
Right.
Where you can go and you can still stay at home, but go and check in.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
you know that. You know what I mean?
What about recovery homes? Where
That's not really. It's not really.
Is that more of a second stage? Is it?
recovery based. The people who are in
it's more of a-
recovery live
Yeah,
there.
it's more of a clean house. If you want to stay clean, you get sort of piss test, but you got to take responsibility for your own recovery. Whereas if you go to a residential rehab, you don't know, you get taught loads of stuff.
So you've done your detox, and then someone says, right, okay, you can go to a rehab. So what's the process then? What would happen then?
There's loads of different types of rehabs. There's all around the country. There's 12-step rehabs. These rehabs for counselling. These therapeutic rehabilitation. They're all different sort of ones. They all work in all different ways. But you're going away. So you're moving away, or you're going somewhere, and you might have to give your phone in and your money in, and you just.
And sometimes your house.
Pardon?
Sometimes if
you really want to, which I don't advise people to give up the flats these days, because
that's your own experience, isn't it?
That's my experience.
Yeah.
You know how the market's going now.
But it was better for me to give up mine,
Yeah.
because going back to where I was living is not a good idea.
Well, again, you can make those kind of choices as well. So that is a good choice, isn't it? Where
You've got that. So you can make that choice. Give up your flat. You can go and get back on that way.
And how long did he last, roughly, or does it all depend?
Everything.
I mean, I don't mean roughly, because I know that everyone is different, because I know some people who've been in for ages. But the concept is, they say, right, you can come in for however many weeks. Is that what they do?
6 months. Firstly, it was 3 months because of you give them 3 months to see how you feel about it, if you want to stay for 3 months, and then but they do start before you come into the end of your 3 months. Then start asking you, do you want to stay for another 3 months? And if you're doing well, you're going to take that option. Some people don't.
And most of them, you correct me if I'm wrong on this, but most of them will use something like this, the 12-step framework. So essentially,
something. So they'll guide you into some sort of program. You know what I mean?
And some can be more.
Some are therapeutic. So some are like in the countryside where you're more counsellors and
like,
whereas we do groups in Sharecap, they will do groups in house rather than going to places. Like Blackburn, they go to meetings, but they do all their groups inside, and they have people coming in.
So
we go somewhere in particular.
So you want to tell people how they'd get in touch with all that stuff?
Well, no, not necessarily. Well, we will do in a minute.
It's the same as a detox. Remember we were talking about for your drug workers. If they're going to get you into a detox, you can sort of go into it. They can get you in touch with a rehab as well.
So again, and also if you're at the detox, they'll presumably reach out to people for you as well, and they'll have connections in any way.
Well, you find your connections. So you know, a lot of rehabs, 12-step rehabs. I know there's loads around Manchester who are like the one down the road. They force you to meetings, and then because you're getting forced to meetings, you sort of get in the swings of things, and then because you're forced into the meetings, into the rooms, when you get out of rehab, you just continue that.
So that's it, really. I think what I'm trying to say is because there'll be some people who have never done it, so they don't know what it is. Now, I understand there's different concept of it, but what is it? So for me, if I was to say to someone, they said, what is a rehab? I would say these people are going to essentially, one way or another, start helping you to address why you are using drugs. So the detox is to come off him, and the rehab.
Detox is your neck below. Get rid of your drugs, and your rehabilitation is for your head. So you think about what does rehabilitation, that's what the word is in that, innit? Rehab's just short for rehabilitation, which is you're rehabilitating into a new kind of person.
Yeah.
Or into the person that you was, or into the person that you're going to become. It's about the change, innit? That's what it means.
I think we all acknowledged, to some extent, that detox can initially be rough as fuck on you. Initially. That first, going through the actual detox, the physical.
It's rough as toast.
Again, recovery houses or things like that, they can be as well, can't they, mentally?
Of course.
Detox, you are given medication to make the withdrawal easier.
Yeah. Make it easier.
Yeah.
But we're not trying to put. What we're trying to do with the detox was just to say, listen, this isn't going to be some apple pie and custard, so you might want to trap yourself in.
It's a lot easier than doing it on your own.
And the same thing with recovery is what we're trying to say is, well, actually, if you were to go into a recovery house, whichever one it is, it's probably not going to be. There's different reasons as to why it won't be a walk in the park, because they're going to make you address either through some kind of framework, but then also get to the nitty gritty of it. There's also things like, you know, you're in a shared house a lot of the time with people you don't know, you know, with people who you don't know but have drug or alcohol issues.
A lot of who are quite poorly themselves.
Some can be disingenuous, if I'm honest.
There's a lot of life skills that you learn that you forget by the way.
Tolerance being one of it.
Patience and tolerance.
But living around a group of men, a lot of people don't. A lot of people isolate towards the end of the using lifetime, where you start reintegrating into society, going shopping, which people don't normally do. You just go make pizzas and then
not again.
But in this day and age now, online shopping, you don't need to leave the house to you can pay all your bills online. People don't integrate.
So it gets you used, and it does from my experience with people, it does help you build what are supposed to be classed as like social support networks, because although you might not get on with everyone who's in there, you probably will get on with a wider group to some extent.
Because when you first come into a rehab, you're forced to do a lot of stuff. But because of that getting forced, you get used to it, and it becomes a lot easier, and you just try and apply that into your life.
You don't just get picked up and just dumped in a rehab. You do discuss it beforehand. You know what you're coming into. It's not a case of right, you need to go there today now. And that's it.
It's about how when you're going to move in and all this other kind of stuff. I think the thing with a lot of it is
it's a culture shock anyway.
It's a culture shock because you're living with people you don't know. Yeah. Some of them, as I said, are disingenuous.
But that's not. You won't know that until you get in there.
That's why we're telling them now, to make sure that people. The idea being that if you go in there and you think it's going to be sunshine and rainbows, it's not. But if you stick with it, the other option is once you come out the other side of it, it works. And again, the same with detox. So that we would say, well, actually, the initial part of detox can be pretty shit, but stick with it because you come out the other side. So I think it's important to say that
best thing that I ever did. And if you're watching this and you want to go into a rehab, trust me, you'll
thinking about
you'll thank us after it.
You'll thank us as long as you take heed of the fact that initially there are going to be some adjustments. And you're not only dealing with your own issues in that house, and I suppose that's the difference. If you're in a house with other people who all have their own issues and it's a shared shared rehab, then unfortunately you're going to have to manage some of theirs as well, because that's just living with people anyway. But I think it is growth, because I think if you go in there at your weakest and you decide you want to make a proper change and you want to address issues and stuff, one of the least things you really need is stress. But you go in there and extra stress, and with that support you're able to tackle that stress without drinking and using, and it builds strength of character.
The support network all around is showing people with multiple years of clean time. You're being shown that this works. And it's all around you, and this is part of your support system. You're not, like I say, you're not just being picked up and right, rough it. It's a well-worn path that you're going to go down. You're going to have to put the work in, But if you're worth it, you work it.
Yeah.
Well, that's really the case. It does work. It'll give you a better life. It really will.
Any last words? I'm not going to shoot you. I meant like about.
See you in a bit, guys.
You come near me dressed as a pigeon, I'll shoot you.
I'll fancy him.
Please. That's why I do it. I want that attention.
Any last words on anything?
Blah, 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 blah.
Well, it's good. Yourself?
Believe in recovery. Recovery works.
I'll say, lastly, that it's a bit, both the structures today and the other day were a bit odd, but that's mainly because we've had to do one, literally, we didn't have to, but we decided to do 2 days after. So we'll go back to some kind of framework next week, so we won't go much further.
Get some topics we're gonna.
Well, I think we addressed some topics.
Yeah.
I think it'll be similar to what we've been doing, because it's good that we go off on a tangent, not necessarily about pigeons.
That's the goal.
But I'd argue.
I listened to the one online and we come across okay.
Yeah, that's my editing now.
Yeah, but we're not going to change the world. But if we change one person's life, we find recovery. This is all worthwhile. Definitely,
and again, if just to highlight, depending on how you're watching and what have you. You can comment. If you've got questions, you can comment on videos. Yeah. But you can also, if you are listening to on somewhere like iTunes or anything like that, if you actually look at the description, there's a link in all of them that says send us a message. So if you want a particular topic for us to talk about or anything like that, if you do that, it'll come straight to us. Yeah. So if you have a topic you want us to discuss, or if you just privately want to reach out to us and say, actually, this is where I'm based, is there anything local to me? If anyone wants to privately reach out and ask for
someone
reached out to us the other day.
Information on some outside sort of help.
I saw that comment.
Yeah, someone reached out to us the other day.
We can always direct you to something, couldn't you? We could throw some...
Well, we've got, again, we're, believe it or not, quite professional. So we do have links with organisations both locally and also nationally. And with that being said, I think if you've got any issues, we'll do our best to put you in contact with people. Yeah. We can't do recovery for you, unfortunately.
A lot of the help's out there anyway. You just got to seek it yourself a bit.
Yeah, you've got to do a bit of self-seeking. But the reality of it is, if you do enough self-seeking and then you haven't found anything, then and you really want to make a change, then message us, because we'll send you somewhere. If you've done a lot of fake self-seeking and you don't actually necessarily feel like you want to make a change, don't message me, because I will find you somewhere. And then you'll have to find
if you're in the Manchester area, you might see us.
Well, if you're in the Greater Manchester area, we do every Tuesday and Thursday. We do a men's group at the Rec in Salford. Tuesday, Thursday, 10 o'clock. Not everybody's people from recovery community. It's just the men's group that work out together. But you can be part of our TFI audience there, couldn't you?
Come to speak to one of us about recovery.
Yeah, come and speak about recovery. That's what we're here for.
I can always direct you to a specific. Fellowship that you'd want to do, I sort of know a lot of meetings and I know a lot of connections, stuff like that.
Yeah, and lastly I will say this, and I think we've got a website now, so if you've got any issues with having a somewhat addiction to pigeons, if you visit pigeonfancier.com,
you'll see my edge on the front page.
They will support you.
Supportapigeon.com.
And I'm done.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Well, that was good.